In his Oscar-winning film Parasite, director Bong Joon-Ho uses a variety of technical codes to convey the messages in his film. Many have discussed the genius of his camera work and narrative storytelling. However, in this video, I'd like to discuss two media codes that often go underappreciated in the film: lighting and color grading. Throughout Parasite, Bong utilizes color in a familiar but striking fashion. He doesn't challenge typical color grading principles found in other films, but instead uses his understanding of established color theory to elicit an emotional response from the audience. This is seen when depicting the wealthy Park family. The film opts for warmer colors, using a variety of browns, reds, and yellows. The warm color palette perfectly represents the Park's high socioeconomic status, as well as their optimism and purity. Their hallways are filled with gold frames and warm yellow lights, almost depicting them as royalty compared to the Kims. These color choices assist the audience in understanding the Parks and create a strong visual juxtaposition with the Kims. The Kims are instead depicted with colder colors, more washed out greens, blues, and greys. These colors are typically used in films to convey a sense of envy and jealousy, as well as depression and decay. Bong uses the audience's understanding of color theory to intensify the impoverished situation the Kims find themselves in at the beginning of the film. As stated previously, Bong Joon-ho's use of color theory is not groundbreaking in the medium of film. However, it is incredibly effective at conveying emotions to the audience. I believe this is best shown through his use of blue in the film. Bong uses blue throughout the film to illustrate a character's downfall. As the Kims descend to their semi-basement house, following their escape from the Parks, the frame is enveloped with blue tones. This scene perfectly illustrates the Kims' descent, literally showing their physical descent back to their house, but also their emotional descent through the blue color grading. The blue color becomes more overpowering as the scene continues, showing the Kims' downward spiral of depression. The use of blue to display a character's downfall is not limited to just the Kims. As the housekeeper Moon Gwang is fired by the Parks, the scene opts for a strong blue tone, which not only depicts her downfall, but also works as an effective juxtaposition to the warmer colors that were previously used when depicting her in the Park's residence. Color choices such as these may seem insignificant in solitude, but can go a long way in illustrating the themes and narrative of the film. Red is used more sparingly throughout the film, mainly being used when depicting direct character conflict. Scenes such as Moon Gwang's takeover and the Kims' descent use powerful red undertones to show the conflict and anger between the characters. As Ki-jung finally snaps at Ki-woo, the scene shifts from a muted blue to a powerful red. The sudden shift in color palette reflects the sudden peril the Kims find themselves in. This, coupled with the frantic camera movement, allows the audience to perfectly understand the Kims' situation before a single word has been said. By only using red for pivotal scenes throughout Parasite, Bong is able to intensify the conflict and engage the audience in the characters' emotions. In summary, Parasite is a hallmark example of how to use color effectively. Bong Joon-ho's use of color grading adds nuance and depth that engages the audience in the narrative. Although it's often overlooked, color plays a crucial role in Parasite and elevates the film to even greater heights, creating a film worthy of the title Best Picture. Similar to color, lighting is used throughout Parasite to present themes such as class, inequality, and wealth. This is seen as Ki-woo ascends to the Park residence. The lighting transitions from the cool lighting of the semi-basement to dynamic warm lighting as he enters through the gates of the mansion. This lighting choice continues throughout the film and creates an effective visual distinction between the Kims and the Parks, illustrating their socioeconomic disparity. Cinematographer Hong Kyung-pyo addresses the importance of this visual distinction by using different types of lights, stating,
"We focused on depicting the softness and the sophistication exclusive to rich households by using warm-coloured lights, gentle indirect lighting, and applying dimmer switches, unlike greenish fluorescent light. In the end, semi-basement lighting was technical lighting, while the lighting in Park's house was aesthetic lighting."
This desire for visual distinction can be seen throughout the film. The Kims' semi-basement house relies on artificial lighting, such as light bulbs, illustrating the Kims' inequality when compared to the Parks, who rely on gentle ambient lighting from the sun. The visual symbol of the sun is used in the film to display economic disparity. The Park's house has large windows that allow sunlight to enter throughout the day, while the Kims only have a small window that barely lets any light in. This visually demonstrates the Kims' limited opportunities compared to the Parks, a direct result of their economic status. Following the flooding of the semi-basement, lighting is used again to juxtapose between the Kims and the Parks. At this point in the plot, the Kims are at their lowest, losing their house and being forced to sleep in a shelter. The film opts for low-key lighting to perpetuate the feeling of depression within the scene before cutting back to the Parks, bathed in sunlight and completely unaffected by the pain of those below them. In conclusion, the strategic use of lighting and color grading in Parasite underscores Bong Joon-Ho's exceptional narrative storytelling and elevates the film to far more than the sum of its parts. Through the use of different color and lighting techniques, Bong creates a powerful contrast between the struggles of the Kims and the freedom of the Parks, making a potent statement on the inequalities we often ignore.